All right. Welcome to another episode of the Freezin for NFC North Podcast, episode 105, 2024, week 4 review and week 5 previews, plus those dominant Vikings sack the pack in the first division matchup of the season. And we're still waiting on our Viking contingent to arrive. I'm sure they will arrive eventually, but hey, we got things to do. We got stuff to talk about. And we have RevTrev is off this week. He has, and maybe he'll pop in a little bit later. He's got a little bit of work stuff to do, but in his stead, we have two of our regular guests. And I'm going to introduce you first, Miles. Where can everyone find you as we get started?
Yeah, good evening. Miles Teddick. You can find me every Monday evening live streaming at 9:30 Central Time on the Pack Weekly Podcast. Come hang out. We talk Packers, and that's it. No nonsense.
Hey, and you had me on your OG Rivals.
Yes, sir.
Have to do that prior to week 11, and maybe again we'll have to, especially as the Bears are ascending and the Packers descending, we'll just kind of go ahead and do that eventually as well, because it's always fun to talk the best rivalry in the division, right?
We can agree right there, sir. The best rivalry in all of sports, in my opinion. But
we can't get away with the ascending descending comment, though. Come on.
That's all right.
Come on.
It's a long season, a lot of football.
Yeah, one game, bud. Come on. Come on.
Well, someone who is always ascending as well, always a lot of great stuff. Where can we find you, sir, as we get started? I mean, Mr. Fun Football, Isaac, tell everybody who you are and where we can find you.
And by the way, Miles, you got to come on my show, man. We're going to have to do a collab soon. That'd be a lot of fun.
Okay. None of this Packer love. Get it out of here. Stop
I
hugging it
out. Hey, Andy, I love that you brought me on after a Packer loss. I want to return the favor. The next time the Bears lose, you should come on. It's not going to
happen this season, so probably maybe playoffs. So.
Hey, you can find me. I literally just was on Jones for Jones, but you can find me on Blitz with my co-host Shotsman Sideline, a fellow Bears fan. I do a show with the Bears fan every week, so I have love for y'all. You're another cool Bears fan. So, but you can find me on Blitz on Tuesday nights, 7:30, and Fun Football Podcast Friday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can find me on TikTok, Twitter for sure, Facebook, and YouTube.
Awesome. Yeah, a lot of great stuff. You're definitely killing it as well. Both of you guys
Thanks,
are. And someone who always is killing it and brings it every single week. Seventh Letter, where can everyone find you?
7th Letter 4 on Twitter, X, and same OG on Instagram and Facebook. Let's go Lions.
Hey, anybody who wants a great Lions take and a great guest, you better be asking 7th Letter. He's got some great stuff. Definitely always appreciate you every week. Hey, you may have some Jets takes too when we get to the Viking stuff. Obviously, you stuff with your son. You were right there in the press box for the Jets game, I believe, right?
Yes, sir.
All
right.
right.
It was a lot of fun.
And we're talking about hopefully having a Vikings fan. And guess who just popped in here? Shelby, welcome to the show. we knew someone was going to show up, after this.
We know one of them go pop
up. Where can everyone find you, Shelby, as we get going here?
Shelby Tweten on Instagram, Twitter, X, and the Skull Queen on TikTok.
Always great stuff as well. And obviously your Viking contingent here, 4-0, about to be 5-0. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Starting to show
Vikings. These Vikings fans are out of control, but we'll give them their just due here. All right. And, Shelby, go ahead and tell us what happened as the Vikings sacked the pack 31-29 in week 4 in Green Bay, mind you.
Oh. You said what happened?
Yeah. I mean, we're blowing them out.
And then they had to. I think we just had to make it interesting. Honestly. No, I think that our issue for the last couple of years, and we've talked about this multiple times, is the third quarter. We dominate the first half, And then we're like, oh yeah, we can chill. We can take a second, be conservative. And then the same shit happens. And then all of a sudden they're at the end and they're like, oh, wait. Let me actually start playing again. And that's what pisses me off because it's sloppy mistakes too. The momentum wouldn't have even shifted, I don't think, if that muff punt would have happened. And then that kind of like sent them into, halftime. They probably were hyped up. They're like, okay, like let's go off of this momentum. I think that Jordan Love was also like nervous coming back. We were putting a lot of pressure on him. And then once that second half came in, they were going at it. All power to them. I was fucking pissed. And then once we started, like the defense, you could tell the second that the defense like checked back into the game. And then all of a sudden, like the momentum started going back. And I think it should have been 39-22 because I think that spot at the end on the one was trash, or we should have at least went for it for a field goal. I guess we're taking notes from Dan Campbell now, but yeah,
Oh, yeah. There you go. There you go.
Well,
but I think it was good. I think it was a good loss because
rooted in love today.
Not loss, we won.
There you go.
But I think it needed to happen. I think we needed to be humbled. I think that those first 3 games were something that the Vikings have not been used to. They were almost like, easier wins to what us fans at least aren't used to. And I think that this kind of reminded them, like, you cannot take your foot off the gas. Like, you got to just keep chugging along. Like, the Lions are a good example of that. Like, they're going to keep fucking you up. They're never going to stop with that energy. So,
well, speaking of the same energy every week, it's about that time for the cold water to be poured on one team in the division. And, for this time, I'm actually not going to pour it on you, Packer fans. I'm going to pour it on you, Shelby. Miles, had you actually had a competent kicker, I mean, really the Packers win this game, right?
Yeah.
You missed 2 field goals. You lost by 2 points. So, yeah, mathematically.
The Vikings really aren't that good, maybe, right?
Well, all right. So let me give Shelby, give you your due, give your Vikings your due. The name of our podcast this week on Pack Weekly Pod was "They Are Not Who We Thought They Were," and that is the Vikings. Y'all are not who we thought you were. Nobody was picking you to be at the top of the division. Your season looked like it was falling apart before it got started, and here you are. You're winning legitimate games. This is not an accident. I'll say that. So given all of that, but I mean, you were that close to losing that game. I mean, how pissed would you have been?
I mean, obviously I would be pissed, especially because it's the Packers, like if we were to have lost against the Texans, I was expecting losses against the 49ers and the Texans. Obviously Green Bay, every single year you're hoping to win. I think that it was sloppy, but I also wonder, I do think that we got 2 in our head. So if they would have gotten those field goals, would we have played harder and played smarter?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Now, Isaac, I one of the keys might have been you had a missing player in that secondary, didn't you?
Yeah, Jair Alexander. Here's the problem: we had Alexander out, we had Valentine out, so we were down 2 corners, and they took advantage of that all game long. They were picking on us in the first half. That really changed the dynamic of the game. And honestly, I'm just going to be honest here. Jordan Love shouldn't have played on the MCL. I know he looked decent in the second half, but he wasn't 100%. I'm not saying we would have won with Malik Willis. I'm not saying Malik Willis is better, but I am saying Malik Willis 100% healthy is better than a 70% Jordan Love, especially when he could re-injure it. And what was disappointing about the game was we couldn't get over our own way. Like we tossed not just those 2 field goals away. LaFleur backed us up. We missed that field goal. Jordan Love threw a pick in the red zone and threw another pick at the 30 where we could have had a chance for a field goal. They would have played differently had we gotten those field goals, but we could have kept the game more competitive. I'm not believing in Narveson. We got to change this guy. I don't think he's it. But I will say this about Minnesota. Earlier in the season, I didn't have y'all as a playoff team because I didn't know about Darnold. And I think we're finding out about him. My question is I'm curious what this team's going to do. This week's a good test against the Jets. Are they going to be able to continue this run? That's my question, because the Packers I don't even know how to evaluate their season so far. Love has been out. I'm curious what the Vikings are going to do moving forward.
Yeah, seventh letter.
Me
I mean,
too.
would you say you're worried about the Vikings more in the long run or the Packers?
No, not worried about the Vikings at all. Not one bit.
Oh.
They'll see this week. They got a real cornerbacks this week, 3 of them. So they should be able to keep those guys. I don't know about it. I would say Sauce, and I give the edge to JJ because he's like the best player in the world right now. But Reed is a real good cornerback. Their nickel is a good cornerback. So, and Naylor been kind of eating a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like especially on like third down and stuff. So I think they'll have a better test if the Jets can generate any kind of pass rush. They can bother Darnold a little bit, and that's what I'm kind of hoping for. But the Jets kind of stink. I ain't gonna lie. Like defensively, they're fine, but when they were on that field the whole game, because Aaron Rodgers, White Kyrie couldn't get it going. You know what I'm saying? He did not get it going, and they had him on the field all game, and then they started gashing him with the run plays, and then they found Sutton in the back of the end zone. Like so it's the Vikings are. I was one of the descenders when you were saying like the Vikings are gonna not be that good this year. I mean, it all depended on on Sam Darnold.
You're right.
So it's pretty good in the beginning of the season, but people catch up to him eventually. I knew in the defense when Flores had the Vikings defense playing well last year for the beginning half of the season. You know what I'm saying? It's just this year they have the pieces in place. They spent good money. They drafted a pass rusher. They signed a pass rusher. They got what is his name? Van Ginkel from the Miami Dolphins, who was was one of their best linebackers on their team. They signed Shaq. They signed the one with the little arm brother, Griffin, and then they got the old man from Buffalo. What's his name? His brother played for me, the corner for him. So they got an experienced secondary, and they got good pieces on the defense. So I knew they'd be better defensively. So I'm not surprised. I'm not worried though. I'm not worried because I got an offensive line and we pushing all that little fast. They pass rushes are small. One thing they did have that Hunter was a 260. You know what I'm saying? Once they got down, kind of small. All right, they're gonna get pushed around in Detroit. I don't know what y'all think this is, but I come to love today. I'm rooted in love today. I won. I don't want no problem.
That's my job. That's my job.
That's in 3 weeks. 3 weeks, then we'll have the
We're gonna find out about that Lions offense. I know they played good against Seattle, but are they gonna? They hadn't been putting up points before that, so we're gonna see, man.
We'll get to that in a second.
We didn't play the preseason.
We'll get that in a second. We got to work up to the seventh letter. We got to work up to you, buddy.
Yeah.
But let's talk on the Packers side. Miles, pass out blame. Obviously, you talk about kickers. Who is to blame for this Packers loss? You talked a little bit about LaFleur a little bit, So who is the main culprit, or who are the main culprits for this loss?
Yeah, and this is, I hope, a satisfying answer. I blame it on youth.
I thought you were blaming it on me. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Blame it on you.
I blame it on youth. The Packers. I was actually satisfied with a lot of things from that game. The way they fought back against the Vikings in that game. We have a great example of what the other side of that looks like the week before. The Texans playing the Vikings, they got down. They didn't fight back. And I think we all probably agree going into the season, the Texans look like a pretty darn good team. So seeing the Texans just get beat and take a beating, and the Packers, I mean, they played as bad as they could play, man. That game was unwatchable at one point. And the fact that they had a chance to win it, and I mean, really, without 2 missed field goals, maybe you do win it. Again, you just never know, butterfly effect, what happens. But yeah, I'm not really that upset necessarily. It's still early in the season. It's not a good thing to lose to a division rival. So let's not be, let's not get that mistake in there. But there's a lot that I think the Packers are still working through. And I think Jordan Love's injury, the first, those 2 weeks, that set them back. I mean, to me, they're virtually coming out of preseason, going against the Vikings. And Isaac, it's interesting you bring up Malik Willis. I think that's an idea that Packers fans have. Oh, could you have won that game with the same game plan that you had the couple weeks before? And I just don't think that was the point, right? I think they say Jordan Love's good to go, then he's good to go. And I think you always needed the knock the rust off, kind of get right game for Jordan Love. So the sooner the better. Rip the Band-Aid off, make mistakes, have the ugly game, whatever it is. And I think if you ask, like, is it a good one to come back for? It's like at home against the Vikings. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it gets better than that. Yeah, and that's not to like pick on the Vikings. It's just more of like a hype thing. Like you're going to be amped up for that game. You're at Lambeau. There's a comfort level, I think, there that if there is a good time to bring a guy back, yeah, it's against a familiar opponent at home, So as far as blame goes, it's on the kicker. Mathematically, it's on the kicker for sure. But there's already a lot of circumstance, a lot of adversity, the injuries, whatever you want to throw in there. There's just a lot for these guys to handle and process. So what I take from it is I'm happy about the way they responded to that adversity. You want to see them win, but again, there's a lot of season left. And I think the next matchup against the Vikings, when we had to go to Minnesota, is going to look very, very different. I'm not going to say.
But we probably also won't be playing most of our starters by that time.
Oh,
look at that. So,
what?
hey, yeah,
What
school for life.
People week 16, you got to play me last.
Vikings fans are already.
The probability is like
weekend.
92% that we make it to the playoffs right now.
Good Lord.
Yeah, but I don't think you can win in the division.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't matter. Either way, we're not going to want to play our people on the last week.
Hey, 4-13 is still on the table as well. So, but shout out to those Packer fans. Most are pretty reasonable. You guys are great. Trevor's great. But shout out to those Packer fans who were saying that basically let's go to Malik Willis regardless if Love is 100% or not. Malik Willis is not Jordan Love. So Jordan Love's mid. Malik Willis is a little bit below that. So we'll just kind of go with that. I thought you would like that.
Wow.
Man, the show is shots fired left
Wow.
and right.
Shots fired. I knew you were going to toss that out, Andy. I knew it.
I don't know. I think Bodkin's always throwing stuff. I don't know if he's saying, who the child is here. So, but
because I'm wearing sunglasses.
It might be. It might be. All right. Let's give Bodkin some love here. He's always got some great stuff. Always, has some shots for me too. So here we go. I'll let him.
Bears still stink. Iowa still has no quarterback. Cubs missed the playoff. All shit.
Yes. Thank you.
That's spot on.
Well done.
Hey, and the only thing I want to say to Miles is I wouldn't have played Willis if Love was 100. He just didn't look like. My problem wasn't to shake off the rust. I just didn't see a healthy Love. He wasn't moving the same.
I hear you. That's why I tweeted that in the game too.
I don't want Willis in if Love's healthy. I just didn't. What I saw, I don't think Love was 100.
No, he definitely was.
And that, to me, you don't put him out there if he's not 100 against that Vikings D where he's going to get hit. And you put him out there against a cupcake like the Rams. That's when you do it.
Right.
I think this just out one more week.
A cupcake versus the Rams. Hey, speaking of the Rams, the Bears run to a hard-fought 24-18 victory. Hey, the Rams, beat the 49ers the previous week. You still have Matt Stafford. He is hell of a quarterback. Kyron Williams, hell of a running back. Yet the Bears, they had a game plan that they were going to, rush and just, not, hit the Rams in the teeth. It wasn't working early, but they fought through it, and their defense came up when it needed to. Hey, shout out also to Gervon Dexter. He was definitely key. When you look at him versus Jalen Carter this year. That was the big thing in the draft. Everyone thought, well, they should have drafted Jalen Carter. Gervon Dexter already is becoming dominant and really, asserting himself in this Bears defense, and that's huge. Obviously you have Montez Sweat, who had the good strip sack. You know what? This Bears defense is for real, and this Bears offense is starting to figure it out. Caleb Williams is making some, good throws, good reads, really starting to grow, and he's doing it, in his first year, in the first few games where, it took Jordan Love, all the way to his fourth year to really do anything. So, hey,
that was because he was under. Don't even start, Andy.
Yeah, he looked like Jordan Love his first 4 games. What are you talking about?
Hey, man. Caleb Williams, he's really starting to ascend. I am glad that we have him. I'm glad that, we're starting to grow. Obviously, there's a lot of, growth in this offense, but DeAndre Swift, he really was the key factor in this game as well. He looked like a superstar running back, on a few runs there. And obviously there was the thought that Rashawn Johnson was going to get a little bit more run in this game, in which he got some touches, but DeAndre Swift, they really got him the ball, and they needed to, and that's what really
that's what he does. That's what he
does.
Like he looks dynamite at times, like the best play on the field. Sometimes it's just if he don't get it going, he still picks the wrong holes. He still do that shit. He don't follow his blocks. He still do that. He did that on Sunday, even with some of the big catches he had. Like that's what he does. But he's still back.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? That's a great way to put it. He's great until he isn't. Like that's him. You know what I mean? Like, and then you don't have like the best offensive line, so he's not gonna the same holes and get to the linebacker, as quick as he used to.
I agree with that comment. I don't think Eberflus is it.
Huh?
I don't think Eberflus is it. I just don't. He's not.
No. We know that. Everybody. Did you tell Andy that?
No,
Still a new
the shot I would deliver to Andy is, are you pretty bitter right now that you guys didn't draft Jaden Daniels when you could have?
Oh, no. Jaden Daniels. No. He's all right. Jaden Daniels is all right.
He's all right.
He's the number 1 fantasy quarterback right now, 4 weeks in. Come on. No. He's looking spectacular.
Who had more?
He's game-changing right now.
Yeah.
Who had more passing yards in
Caleb,
week? Caleb had more passing yards. Hey, I'm all about my Caleb Williams. So
I think Andy's just in denial because he's still got PTSD from
head and shoulders better than Caleb Williams.
He's just happy Caleb didn't have a turnover last week.
Let's just be honest. It's just the Bears. It's just the Bears organization. Because now look at Justin Fields thriving.
Yep.
Yeah,
they can't protect the quarterbacks.
So I do agree. Absolutely, the Steelers have better coaching than the Bears. That's I'm not going to deny that. I still think overall, Caleb Williams has more tools than Justin Fields. He sees the whole field better. Jaden Daniels, I don't know if he sees the whole field. We'll see.
What?
We'll see. A lot to prove.
You gotta watch, man. This kid, I don't know, man. I know it's just 4 games. We're gonna find out, but
we're gonna find out. When the 7th letter, when you talk about the Bears, I mean, when you saw that, kicker, my awesome punter we drafted in the 4th round. I mean, it was beautiful, wasn't it?
My name
beautiful.
About a punter, yo. Did you? Yes, you did.
I did, yeah. I thought, 7th letter will really love this football. It's fundamental football, field position, grind it out. And this is what the Bears do. And we won.
The same punter that Caleb said we won't be really needing you this year. That guy.
Hey, we're only partway through the season.
Yeah, he was the special teams player of the week.
I'll take it.
Your quarterback can't throw to his receivers, his good ass receivers. He can't find them. He's 17 for 20. He's finally above 100. And the Rams don't have no secondary at all. You could toss the ball all around the park on them. I don't know what my man is like. You know what it is? The NFL is such a different. His strength was outside of the pocket. And he presented himself as something more accurate, which he isn't. He hasn't been very accurate at all. Your quarterback, Caleb. He was dinking and dunking. Your lead receiver was the running back.
Did you see that pass right before the half, just like right over that linebacker's
He does
hand?
it sometimes.
Oh,
but
it was pretty.
we got 4 weeks of tape of him missing.
How many
4 weeks,
touchdowns does he have, Andy?
like 2.
Hey,
Are you talking about Caleb?
hey,
Yes.
I think we're tied with the Packers.
Hey,
So
Andy,
we're tied with the
he
Packers.
didn't-
Hold on. No.
Caleb
Jordan
had
Love has
4. He's
6
more than Caleb
touchdowns.
does. Does Malik Willis have more touchdowns on the season than Caleb? Is
No.
that true,
Right.
Joe?
Or Todd.
Oh my
He got
God.
Who
less.
has
less
the most?
interceptions.
Who has the most passing touchdowns in the
There
league?
you go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it always comes back to the Vikings, right? It always comes
Fair
back to the
I
Vikings.
believe it's Sam Darnold, and I think Jaden Daniels has a lot more than Caleb right now.
Yes,
Oh,
Just
no.
saying.
No.
Just saying.
No, probably
And
not.
then Jared Goff is over here being the most accurate QB in the league.
All right,
so.
let's go ahead. Let's go
100%.
ahead and
Yeah.
give Seventh Letter some love here. Detroit was special in the 42-29
Crazy.
win in Week 4 versus the Seahawks. They did the Philly special. They're doing all this stuff.
Yeah,
The Lions hand out some helmet stickers to your dominant
first,
team.
I
here.
would like to personally thank you for David Montgomery, man. Like, thank you, man. Thank you so much for that. That was a gift. That was a gift, and they keep on giving every week. He's been our best player from week 1 to week 4 so far. He is everything and more. I think when we got rid of Jamal Williams, I was a little sad because that was my guy, but they were saying that it was a lot of yards we left on the field, and that man breaks tackles, he jukes, he picks up first downs, he gets touchdowns. Jared Goff, they kept him clean because their whole defensive line was hurt. So we could play with them. That's why we scored almost every time we got the ball, because their whole defensive line was hurt. And the secondary, it don't matter who you is. If you're on that island long enough, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna look shitty. And they got a good secondary, they got a good team. If we see them again in the playoffs, it's gonna be a much tougher game. Their offense, Geno Smith was slinging it.
He was
on fire.
Yes, he was. But it's like when he sees our jerseys, he goes the fuck off every time. It's ridiculous. Like, he sucks. But as soon as he sees my helmet, he goes crazy. Like, all his best games against us. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't have enough on defense to stop us. We were able to run the ball when we wanted to, pass the ball when we wanted to. So finally, we beat the Seahawks. Thank God. But I mean, it was a good game. We'll have a bye week. We'll get healthy, and we'll come back to play the Cowboys and beat the shit out of them. Like them, like we did to them. We're gonna do that to the Cowboys because they hurt too. You know what I mean? We got to get all the people that cheated us. And you did see how they were trying to cheat us again. They kept on calling pass interference. Fucking DK Metcalf can throw his shoulder in your chest. He can punch you in the face and do all this, and nothing gets called. And then they call the pass
Except was that not a catch in the end zone?
They extended 3 of their drives with pass interferences. Like, give me something.
So y'all weren't doing it. So y'all weren't holding at all.
Yo, not against DK Metcalf. No.
Okay.
If you look, when they slow down the tape, you can see him with his arm pushing off of Carlton every time, and they didn't call it. They kept calling pass interferences on me, and they cheating for them. You see them, they didn't even want to call a touchdown on us when we scored.
I got a question for you, Seventh. It's the same question I have for the Vikings. Their secondary, which I like Harrison Smith, but the Vikings secondary would be my question mark. Mine is the run D, it always is. Do you think your Lions pass D is going to be good enough to get you to where you want to go, which is the Super Bowl? Because y'all give up 500 yards. But the game was never in doubt. But you guys gave up over 500 yards. Offense looked dynamite. I totally get it. But your secondary is so young. That's my one question mark with the Lions.
Well, this is my problem with the secondary. My rookie is very grabby. You can do that in college football. He'll learn from it. That's fine. Yep. As far as they had the ball 38 minutes, but it wasn't because we wasn't scoring. It's because we were scoring so fast. They got the ball back a lot of times. And the refs kept on giving them pass interferences. So my defense was tired. So they gave up a lot of yards. It is what it is. If the defense on the field a lot, they're going to be tired. It don't matter if you're winning or losing, scoring a lot, punting a lot. The defense on the field all game, the offense is going to move the ball on the other team.
I asked because I'm starting to wonder if the NFC title game, because I don't think San Fran's going to be there. I'm starting to wonder. The Bucks are like a sleeper team for me. I wouldn't be surprised, although it's tough because one would be a wild card. Yeah, exactly. Vikings, Lions. I'm serious. I think the Lions.
We gonna beat the shit out the Vikings. It ain't even a doubt in my mind. Yes.
They can swing
but
it.
your secondary. No, I've been
my
saying
secondary's
this.
Fine. It's fine.
I've been saying.
I'm fine with my secondary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with my secondary. They gonna listen.
We're gonna find out in 3 weeks, I guess.
Sorry, Andy. I'm asking questions.
No, this is good. This is all good stuff.
Ever since Pete Carroll came to the Seahawks, they've been cheating and the luckiest team ever. They let the receivers do whatever they want. They secondaries used to beat people up and they never called pass interference. How the fuck in the 2000s when you can't touch a receiver, Richard Sherman used to just hold people all the time. No flag.
But he was also excellent. He was handsy, but he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, you can hold them. Come on, man. They call me every time.
Sorry, Eddie. I appreciate you letting me ask questions like that, man.
No, this is good. So, can we all agree before we move on to the previews of Week 5 that this our division is
the best in
the league, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because there's no weakness. I mean, the AFC North has the Browns now, who suck. I'm sorry, I legit couldn't pick the Browns this week again because they were dumpster fire on offense. That was the best division. Yeah, man. I think it's the NFC North.
Yeah, we predicted that in 2023, man.
It's been amazing watching everyone talk about it too.
Everybody got better. Everybody.
Well, I was going to talk about my Bears first. Well, why don't we? Let's go ahead and do that then. So we go ahead and with my Bears, obviously
another easy ass game. Jesus Christ.
It should be better. Right?
You better win this game and beat Andy Dalton. You're only favored by 4, man.
Well, -4 is a lot in the NFL, right? And so when you look at this Andy Dalton, right? And I'm thinking, obviously we're not going to see Bryce Young, we're not going to see that, but Gervon Dexter is going to be another key in this game. Getting to the quarterback, getting him out of his rhythm. The Bears know him quite well from when he was here. I think getting Caleb, comfortable, I think that'll be helpful. Got to keep running the ball. I think that's going to be huge as well. But one of the big things too, the secondary. The Panthers evidently now they're going to pass it. They're going to try to score a bunch of yards or a bunch of points here. But Bears secondary, we're solid. We got some solid linebackers. I think the Bears are going to cover that 4. They should win. This is a game. If the Bears do lose, I might waver a little bit on my prediction. I had gone back down to 9-8 prior last week, but I thought the Rams were going to be a possible loss in this schedule. So now the Bears did beat the Rams.
They too hurt.
Bears still beat the Rams. Yeah. So I'm
who do they have on offense other than
nobody?
Stafford?
Me at wide receiver. Trevor.
They got a solid tight end, right? They got Parkinson, right? Solid tight end. Oh my gosh!
They got us running routes. Yeah, Demarcus Robinson, Tutu Atwell is the number 1 receiver right now. Right. No joke. I think that's the guy.
They still have Stafford. You got a good quarterback, and you can do anything. Look at the Packers did all these years. With trash wide receivers, they had Favre and they had Rodgers, and they still actually did well with trash wide receivers.
They were not trash, bro.
Devontae Adams.
I was not prepared for the shots that were going to be fired.
Now look at our receiving core.
That is my point, to make sure to get
the receiver core they got now is the same receiver
I should
core
here's what I should do. I should keep a tally of all the slander that you spew about the Packers.
I'm just over here. Hold on. I gotta at least return fire once here.
Return fire. I'll allow you to retort. Go ahead.
Now, Andy, I know you're pretty hyped about Caleb Williams and his whole 3 touchdown passes that he's got in 4 games.
Yeah, I'm done with it. Yeah.
And the division's best receiving core coming into this, right?
Yeah, we've been banged up though. We've been banged up. Yeah.
He was so set on that. He was so set on that before the year.
If all 3 are healthy playing, absolutely.
Is the
Continue.
best?
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Continue. Yes.
No.
Right. Okay.
we're just gonna get to the numbers here in just a second.
Mhm.
The division's best receiving core. You guys have a grand total of 6 big plays right now through 4
We're
games.
injured. We're injured. Okay, we're injured, but
One of you
continue.
is.
Yes.
One of you.
One
is.
of
We
them is.
predicted he was
You
going to
got
be
one
injured.
One
guy.
of them is.
We
Keenan
were down
Allen
Allen
is-
is a
Addison.
key.
He's always hurt. He's
Keenan
been hurt
Allen's
the
a
last
key
You know
one.
how
5
many
years.
of the
All
Packers
right.
receivers have?
I got one for Andy in a second. I
You
got
know how
something
many of
fun.
the Packers receivers have? Then this is plays over 20 yards, but that's what
Okay.
qualifies as a big play. Do you know how many?
Well, yeah, but you do have Matt LaFleur. But continue.
But just any.
So you
any
admit your
snap-
coach sucks.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, he admitted something good. Our coach is better. He knew that.
Oh,
Honestly,
absolutely.
that-
Oh, yeah.
that's your
Almost
biggest weakness. Is
3
all the other
times.
3 coaches in the division are really good, and Eberflus sucks. That's the biggest
Hey,
weakness of the Bears.
And yet the Bears are 2-2, and we're on track for 10-7. Continue.
You just beat up Rams team by only 6. You're not clearing anybody right now.
Hey,
You guys, the problem is you're losing close and you're winning close, and that's a measure of a young team. That's what the Packers are doing too.
yeah,
We
that's a
barely
good
lost
point.
to Philly.
Absolutely.
I think we're gonna do a lot of that too. It's you have a young team, but the problem you need to beat this Carolina team decisively
Oh,
for anybody to believe that you're actually going to be a winning team this year. You got to put it together on offense. I got to see it from Caleb.
Mhm.
It needs to start clicking.
Yeah.
But the problem is they got to protect him, and it's on Poles to do his job. He's gotten all the weapons, but instead of drafting Roma Dunze, he could have drafted Dallas Turner, or he could have drafted an offensive lineman, which is the biggest reason the Bears have only had, count them, 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks in 60 years, because they can't protect and set up their quarterbacks for success.
We talked about that all last week.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
dang it.
And now Caleb Williams has already been sacked 16 times.
Ooh.
Yes, I agree.
Ouch, man.
16
I
times.
That
agree.
sucks.
And Seventh Letter's been saying that all the time, right? But when you look at
That Texans game was ugly. There were 7 guys coming, they only had 5. It's like, what are you doing? Expecting Caleb to juke out 2 guys? Like,
Agreed.
come on.
a lot of that a lot of that also was on Shane Waldron, and obviously Seahawks fans have
Absolutely.
thrown shade at him. And the big thing that came out of last week prior to the last week's game was that they had Mercedes Lewis led basically a leaders meeting and basically trying to hold the coaches accountable and everyone accountable. And so they had this meeting, and evidently that's kind of what helped. And so that's kind of the joke on Chicago radio that we're going to have to hold a meeting every single week to kind of get everything back on track. But hey, yeah. So when you look at it, I'm not all that excited about Shane Waldron quite yet. Doing a lot of similar things to what previous offensive coordinators have done. But the difference is we have Caleb Williams, who can do it all. And he is starting to grow. He's starting to, make his, presence known in this offense, and make some plays where they need to. And DeAndre Swift coming in with some big plays. So I think, as the matchups start to, play in our favor, it will be helpful, to get the Packers later on in the schedule.
No, it won't.
But when you look at this,
it's going to be 2-0 again, but sorry, we're going to be 12 in a row. I'm calling it now.
You definitely can call it now, but it's not going to happen. I mean,
Yes, it is.
by the time we get to the,
you guys are scared of us. It's okay. You know you are. Every year you think you're going to win, and then something happens, and your offense either falls apart or your defense can't show up that day. It's just us. You can't beat us. It's okay.
When you look at Caleb Williams and you look at his, take a look at his at quarterback just rating and how it is, ascended these, first 4 games of the season. I just really see him feeling more comfortable in the offense.
Sure.
The Panthers. Yeah, take
Shelby,
a look.
Shelby was playing corner last week.
Hey, Panthers aren't going to be as much of an issue. And so I'm thinking the Bears are actually going to win here, and I think it's going to be a 27-10 game. I just don't see the Panthers doing much on offense, and I really think that the Bears are going to take over here. So 27-10 Bears over the Panthers on Sunday. Shelby, who do you think is going to win? Do you think the Bears are going to win?
I think you guys have to win. Like,
We
if you
do,
don't
yeah.
win, it's going to be embarrassing. And I can't wait for next week if you guys don't win. But I think you guys are going to win.
Okay, we're gonna win. Miles, are you on the Bears train here?
I'm not, man. I'm really not.
Damn.
I'm just looking at all these Caleb Williams numbers, and I feel like you're talking about a different person than the numbers that I'm looking at.
He usually is. Yeah.
I mean, PFF, he's the 32nd ranked quarterback in the
Okay.
league right now.
Well,
through
okay.
4, and
But
he's got
let's
more
look at his.
interceptions than touchdowns. He's been sacked to
Okay.
oblivion. I
Yeah.
don't know, man. I'm not seeing where's your ray of optimism coming from.
He drinks some sort of liquid that
No, I am
involves drugs.
cold sober here. No, when you look at it, all right, he's a rookie, and look at how he's improved. From week 1 to week 4. There's a lot of improvement there. Does he have more improvement? Absolutely. Has the line been in shambles? Absolutely. Is there more that we can do with the offensive coordinator? Absolutely. And so there's a lot that can be done. But hey, we're 2-2 right now. And this is exactly where I thought we'd be 2-2. Obviously I thought we'd beat Indianapolis and lose to the Rams. 2-2. We're in a good spot, and we're continuing to grow. Here we go. Cartier hates the Bears, but he is right.
Okay.
You got a great
All
defense.
right.
Yeah, your defense is the only reason that y'all are 2-2.
I promise
Honestly,
you, it's the only reason why you're 2-2. Yeah.
And I have one more
Like I
question.
said, though,
Will
yeah,
Levis
yeah,
get to
go
do a game.
I have
Will
one
Levis
more-
said, "Bears, I don't want this game. It's for you." That's why you guys won one game.
He
Word.
did that for the
we
Packers too, by
took
the
it.
way. But
We took it. All right. We took
Uh,
it.
True, you're right, but
Andy, what is
Malik
going
Willis
on
actually
with
played good in
DJ
that game.
Moore? I need to know what's going on with DJ because he doesn't look happy. Is that just like are we misreading that? Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Obviously he wants to win. The biggest thing is the misuse of him. They're not really throwing the ball downfield as much to them, and obviously a lot of that's on Shane Waldron. A lot of that, part of that is also on Caleb Williams. Missing some and just kind of learning to throw a player open and all of that as well. So that's part of the obviously the young quarterbacks learning the game and all of that, and that will come. But yeah, it's just got to be a lot of trust, between the quarterback and the offensive coordinator, and really just kind of pushing the ball down the field. And a lot of it is on matchups as well, right? So I think if you get offense full strength, you get Keenan Allen kind of, firing on full cylinders, and obviously the running game going. That's going to open up a bit as well. But a big thing is just using DJ more properly, and we're trying to figure out, he is, they gave him money. I mean, he is, like I said, last year and previous years, I still think, DJ Moore overall is better wide receiver than Keenan Allen. And I also think Keenan Allen will be in the Hall of Fame, all of that stuff. So we got two of these wide receivers, talented route runners, and just making them fit properly. And that's, obviously on Shane Waldron. And we had players, really kind of the leadership council pushing this. And so, hey, it's really, Bears are sending nothing but roses for the Bears going forward. So, hey.
Ooh. They should have let him play the preseason, man.
I'm coming back next week.
Yeah,
you should.
You should.
I think that they treated Caleb Williams like he had already arrived, and he should have played the preseason. I think that hurt him.
For sure.
He doesn't
Absolutely.
understand the speed of the game a lot. You know what I mean?
These guys need to start playing preseason because you've seen the way the offenses are playing right now.
Yeah.
Like you've seen quarterbacks struggling to make mid-range throws, and teams are playing two-shell safety, and they're taking away the deep passes. And the offensive lines are just not up to the offenses are not to speed. They need to start playing more preseason.
Right.
I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we saw a lot of this with Jordan Love last year in his fourth year, kind of missing a lot of throws and just,
he did hit 32 touchdowns, though. That's a fact.
Okay, but the first half of the season, there was a lot of issues with that. I
It's
remember
true.
watching the game.
You know what?
Like
You're
3
right, though.
touchdowns in the first game.
He did look after that Bears game.
Yeah.
He did look wildly, and we saw it this year too, in all fairness. He was wildly up and down. And, that's why I'm so shocked with Sam Darnold going into Minnesota, but he's a veteran, and it proves that if you get a vet like Baker in the right situation, maybe things can work out. Coaching situation matter. And that's why I think Love is going to be just fine, even without Watson. Just let him get his legs back. He's going to look fine. And I expect Caleb, if they can protect him, to look better as well. I think the Bears offense will show signs of life. If they don't, then, that's a problem. That Poles needs to fix.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and talk about those Packers. Obviously, they are 3.5-point favorites versus the Rams. So, Isaac, what are your keys to this game versus the Rams? You said obviously they're not a good team.
Can you stop the run? We've actually, we're 11th right now, but we struggled with Saquon. Can we stop the run? Because that's been our Achilles heel in our history. Like the Bears, every team's got this thing that's held them back. Can we run the ball effectively on them? Because we weren't able to use Josh Jacobs against Shelby Nose against Minnesota. We weren't really able to use them because we were down freaking 28 points. So can we use the run early, take some pressure off Jordan Love, and stop Kyron Williams? Because I'm just going to be honest, I'm not afraid of Tutu Atwell. Demarcus Robinson might not even be out. I don't even know who their fifth receiver is. They're down to Kua, they're down Cup. They don't have a great tight end. Let's stack the box. I know that's silly saying Stafford beat you, but for real, let's let Stafford beat us. I don't want to let Kyron Williams get 150 yards on us. I'm expecting us to win this game decisively, if I'm being honest. They're up. They're 3-point favorites on the road for a reason. Outside of the Rams having a fluky comeback against the 49ers, they did play pretty well against Lions early on, but then they lost their key dogs on offense, and they have looked like mostly a shell on offense since. The Cardinals throttled them. My dad was at that game live. They did come back against San Fran, but then they showed no signs of life against the Bears. I'm looking for the defense to show some progress here, and let's hold them under 20. And I want to see the offense, start showing some consistency. Let's not have a first half like Minnesota. Let's actually come out and start well.
Miles, are you as optimistic as Isaac is here?
I am. I think for maybe different reasons, but I'm not really as concerned about the running game. I mean, you bring up Saquon Barkley. I think we forgot that he's actually probably one of the best running backs in football because the New York Giants are that bad.
True.
He looks really good with the Eagles. So I don't think Williams is anything close to what Barkley is. And when you don't have the threats on the outside like the Rams don't have right now, there's just not a lot taking attention off of the run game. What I'm looking for in this game is the Packers pass rush to get after it. They haven't really done that. And I think, a lot of Packer fans are critical of that right now. My thought is they haven't had a great opportunity to do that. When you're going to fire your pass rush, you're making a trade-off to say, all right, we'll give up some risk in the secondary or, take a chance. And when you've got 2 games without Jordan Love, they're not in a position to take risks there. They need to keep games close and probably shorten them as much as they can. So I don't think they've had, and then obviously playing against the Vikings with 2 of our top 3 corners out against the best receivers in the division. You're not in a position to take chances there either.
No.
So that's where I don't think they've had a good chance until now to get that pass rush fired up. So I expect the pass rush to be fired up. I expect to see Rashawn Gary this week, Luke Van Ness, all those guys.
Is Jair going to play?
He's practicing. I haven't heard any updates today.
Yes, was reading on that. Some guys came back.
Yeah, I think he's limited, which I don't know why he wouldn't at this point. But I don't think you need him to. I mean, Stokes isn't playing terribly, and again, this receiving core versus what we just faced against the Vikings is just that's like the A squad against the C squad.
So Valentine and Morgan came back today. Love is limited, but he's going to play. Jenkins, Musgrave, Watson, Wyatt, which sucks because he'd actually been playing pretty well. Other than McKinney, he'd been one of our stars on D. But Alexander didn't practice either. So
okay, so he didn't. But it does look like Valentine will come back, and that's meaningful. So yeah, I don't have any concerns about Stafford being able to beat us with nobody. They should be able to get that pass rush going. And then on offense, I just look for them to take another step forward. You know, they need to look a little bit sharper, rely on the run game to set up the pass game without, you know, feeling pressured to rush anything. You know, and just this is kind of a get right game the way I see it, you know, and they may not go score a ton of points, but I think it's like probably like a 24-10 win.
Ooh,
And that's
I
what
don't
I'm thinking too. The D needs to get right too.
Jared Verse, you can sleep on the Rams. I mean, Jared Verse, he's a stud.
He's one guy.
Right. There's another guy. Who's the other guy? There's another guy on the other side.
Oh, the rookie from last year, right? The one that what's his name? I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was a stud.
The one that nobody was worried about Aaron Donald retiring because they drafted. Dang it, what's that guy's name?
Yeah, I gotta find out his name. But seventh letter. Do you think the Packers are going to win here?
I think the Packers should win. I'm a little worried about. I think the way the Rams play now, if by any chance they're able to keep the game close, because you know those coaches come from the same tree, so I think like they'll know how to attack one another, so that will keep the game close. And with that being said, I just think on the offensive line, the Rams they lost both of their tackles, they lost their starting guard, so I think defensively the Packers would be able to like produce a pretty good pass rush on them and kind of like what y'all did last week, where it was just y'all just overwhelmed them with your defensive line, and that's how you were able to get the interception at the end. I think but by any chance they're able to keep it close, that's when it'll get fishy. Because when they got the ball back, I said, "Oh man, this Stafford might be able to do it," you know. And that's the only thing that you should kind of be worried about. That'll keep the game close, where it won't be 24-10. It should be on paper, but McVay is a genius, and the people that come from that tree, that Shanahan tree, they all pretty good coaches in the NFL. So I think because of the similarities, it'll be a little closer than we expect. So I'm gonna give it you guys should win, but 2017, 2013, something like that.
And Kobe Turner, the guy, he had 9 sacks as a rookie last year.
Oh, and I would say Braden Fisk actually
he played good last week.
He did.
Fisk played good last week.
So that Rams defense, I mean, you sleep on the Rams. I mean, you know, obviously, they've got people out on offense, but they've got some players, and obviously being the 49ers. So this is not going to be a cakewalk. I thought last week Packers, thought that the Vikings were going to be a cakewalk, and that did not happen.
I never thought that. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I didn't know that many people was hurt in his secondary, so that's why I was looking crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? 28-0? Hold up, what's going on?
Stafford was throwing the ball. So I am going to go ahead and do I pick the Packers here?
You should.
I should. Yeah, I'll pick the Packers. I think the Packers are probably going to win 27-21 here. But obviously, both you guys are picking Miles and Isaac. You picking the Packers to win here as well?
You and Shelby's pick? Yeah, Packers.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're going Packers.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, Shelby, you're going Packers as well. Okay. All right, so you know what?
If y'all can beat the Rams, I have.
I'll go 27-17.
Yeah.
They better win by 10 plus. I'm gonna go 10.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like if y'all.
We'll see. We'll see by the end of the year. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the team that he is leading division 4-0. Minnesota Vikings versus the Jets, and this is a little bit of a special game, isn't it? London game. All right. So, what are the keys to the Vikings? Beating the Jets. Obviously the Jets have a solid defense. There's already talked about the corners that the Jets have. I don't know. I mean, the Vikings magic going to keep going.
I think if we were looking at the Jets 2 weeks ago, I would maybe feel differently. But the way that they played this week, like seeing Rodgers like that, not throwing a pass touchdown, we have such a good defense. And the thing about Rodgers is when he gets frustrated, he gets so flustered and so mad. And then he's his own worst enemy, And like, I feel like we're going to continue to sack. And if we can get him in his head, I think that will be fine. I definitely think it's going to be more of a defensive game for us, just because, like you said, Sauce, all of them, I feel like it'll be a good matchup. Like Jair Alexander is one of the people that usually we're like worried about. We didn't have that matchup last week, but going into it, I think that, we need to stay on. Aaron Jones needs to keep doing what he's doing. If he can keep running, I know that they don't have as good of a run defense. But I think the key is just going to be staying on Rodgers' ass and making sure he stays flustered, because again, 2 weeks ago, it looked like they might have had something, but the fact that they imploded so much last week or this week was so telling. And like, we do really well in London, which I've talked about, but you think about it, it's like an away game for both of us, but we've played there 6 times and we've won every single time. So I feel like we feel like confident there, especially going into, we're going to have a bye the week after. We're taking Sam Darnold over. And honestly, it's crazy, but it really does come down to coaching. Because again, you think about Sam Darnold at the Jets versus Sam Darnold at the Vikings. And now Rodgers is in that coaching scheme. They brought Rodgers in thinking that it was going to save it. But when you don't have the weapons and you don't have the coaching, it doesn't really matter who's there. Like, because at the end of the day, Rodgers is not Tom Brady. Tom Brady has that. We've talked about this how many times, but Tom Brady goes in and he makes people feel special playing for him. He's a good, whoa. Yep.
Oh, dang.
Exactly.
Word.
He's someone that people want to play for him. He makes them feel special, and Aaron Rodgers has never had that vibe. And I think that he went in there, and it just doesn't seem like anyone's like, yeah, we get to play for Aaron Rodgers. Like, that's just not the vibe I get there. And I think that our team is going to beat them. But obviously I am waiting for the shoe to drop, obviously. I like
Here,
to
this could be the shoe. This could be a Kirk Cousins game. Sam Darnold.
Jets got the same,
Prime
Jets
time.
got the same disease that you got on your team, yo. Their head coach sucks.
Yeah.
Because the Jets should be much better than that. One thing about Aaron Rodgers, you're not gonna Lazard me to death. You know what I mean? You gotta get a ball to somebody else. You had what's my man's name? His father used to play in the NFL, but the corner for the Denver Broncos took Garrett Wilson out the game.
Tweten.
Right. One of the best in the business, in my opinion.
Really
you
good.
Gotta get the ball to somebody else. You're not gonna get Lazard is an undrafted regular person. He's a
great blocker, is what he is.
Huh?
He's a great blocker. That's
He's
what he
got great
is.
chemistry with blockers.
He's big as fuck.
And then he just starts throwing to Lazard, hitting him in the feet, throwing off your back foot. Like your Achilles ain't just popped last year. Stop doing that. I'm looking at the game like he washed now. He could be better if he steps into his throws, if he takes coaching, if he lets people coach him. But
He's got trust issues.
Good luck with that. We've been watching that for years. He ain't gonna do that.
That was the worst football game I have ever attended in my life watching him play. And I'm looking at my brother who's a Jets fan. I'm like, I know you're not gonna let the Broncos bottle you up like this.
Hey, though.
They bottled him up.
It was rainy though, wasn't it?
So what? He played in Green Bay.
I'm just saying.
He's used to snow. He's used to frozen fields.
I've seen him bust our ass in the snow.
Not hearing that.
1,000 times, yo.
All right.
Played in Green Bay, bro. You're 40 years old now. You're not gonna have the same 20-year-old zip on the pass anymore. He still throws off his back foot. The only reason why I'm concerned, the only reason that'll keep this game close is the defense, because the Jets defense played lights out last week, except for like the last couple drives when they started running and kicking field goals and stuff. But I think ultimately the Vikings are much more offensively. Just they have weapons. That's another thing that worried me, and it all depended on Darnold. Now, if the Jets do start to invade that backfield and make him start seeing things again, and confuse the coverages up and just hit them with that San Francisco shit that, just 5 pass rushes, one man get in, like, then we'll see something. Then the game will be a little better. But the Jets just stink offensively. They just do.
I think another thing with the Green Bay game is, I'm sure you guys noticed it, but when they got Darnold's knee, just briefly, that's when he declined for just a little bit, and that kind of set us back because he got scared about his knee and he started playing way too safe. And you saw him, and we're seeing it with Rodgers too, but I think he so desperately doesn't want it to hurt anymore. And that is my fear, is if they put any sort of pressure on the knees, then he might get scared. And that's when he starts kind of getting in his head.
Yeah.
Fuck Aaron Rodgers, yo. I hope y'all win.
Well, I mean, that's the problem with that's the problem with Derek Carr. I mean, you see the same thing. He doesn't want to get hit, but that's the problem. That's the one issue I've had with Jared Goff. And I know you're not going to want to hear it, but Jared Goff that's what happened in the Thanksgiving game last year. He turned him into a pumpkin. And
now my boy out there spinning all 4 people and throwing darts. I said, look at my son. He did this. I was scared as hell.
St. Brown, he caught a touchdown pass.
He even caught a touchdown. He ran for a first down in every game. He was working on his athletic ability this offseason.
That's the thing, too, is
I'm worried about Darnold, though.
No, I was going to say, no, for sure, because another thing is he's been pretty good at scrambling. And there was a couple plays after that play where he didn't run how he would he could have definitely gotten a first down on that one play, but he kind of was oh, let me go down. He got scared. So
I think play calling changes too. The coaches see that and start trying to protect him.
There was a couple runs early in the game. He pulled away from guys. I was like, damn, I forgot Darnold had those wheels. It made a difference early on. It did, because we were just getting slaughtered early on. But there was a couple drives that were extended because of Darnold using his legs. It was a difference in the game. Brock Purdy's good at this too. Obviously, Mahomes. You don't have to be a Lamar Jackson to be able to use your legs effectively. Jared Goff has actually done more of that this year. You made a good point.
And those guys will never, ever win. Ever.
Well, that's what killed me about the Packer game, the Viking game, is Love. He's not like a Lamar Jackson, but he can use his legs. And I saw, even though he was moving a little bit more later on, it didn't look right to me. And that's where I was judging it eyeball test. I was like, that dude's not 100. And I know he's pushing to play, and the coach was probably feeling pressure to play him, but he didn't look. That's when I could see it.
He gave y'all the best chance to win, though. Malik did well. Y'all won the game he was supposed to win, but Love still gives you the better chance to win. It's a division game; those count. So,
and people forget we wouldn't have had a chance to come back had he not thrown the 4 TDs. The 3 picks were freaking killers. But Miles said earlier, go out there, make those mistakes. This is the get right game now. The Rams should be the right game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I like the Tim Donald take about that. That was really good, because I'd forgotten about that. He in the third quarter,
you could tell.
Yep.
So I just want to Aaron Rodgers, just obviously a useless stat here, but he is 17-11-1 versus the Vikings in his career, and you know what? I think when you look at this game, I think the Vikings are going to lose this to the Jets, and I think there's going to be one stat that we're all going to be looking for at the end of the game. I think there's going to be one giant hug between Aaron Rodgers and his head coach this week, as the Jets actually going to win 17-13. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Over/under, I would not take over with the Jets any game at all. You look at defense, but I think Aaron Rodgers, he loves the camera. He loves all the attention. And I think he loved that whole, not doing the hug, that whole thing, whatever it was. I think they're going to hug each other, hug it out. And I think Miles, Aaron Rodgers is going to win this week. Don't you think?
No, I don't.
Wow. You saw the game? You saw the game? Everybody said we dodged one getting rid of him.
Well, and listen, big Aaron Rodgers fan while he was with the Packers. I'm not gonna. I was there probably longer than I should have been, but first of all, I'm still jaded from his last performance in London against the Giants, Packers, and he, to Shelby's point, he gets in his head. Like
Mhm.
he gets in his head, and he did that in London. He kind of admitted it almost. Where it's like, yeah, we want to show out for these guys. Like we want to put on a show. It's like, no, man, like that's like stepping up to the tee box in golf and saying, I'm gonna hit this thing to the moon. That never goes well. Like, and that's where I see it again. Aaron Rodgers is trying to put on his own Aaron Rodgers show.
Mhm.
I'm glad we got rid of it when we did. I think that we moved on at the right time. And they don't have an impressive win on the season. The Patriots don't look good. Like you can say that was an impressive win, but the Patriots look like a bad
that
season.
impressive. I saw it.
Yeah. No. And like the Vikings, all of your wins are legitimate and they're impressive wins. I mean, that's where I just see two very different teams. And I don't like the Vikings. I'm not sitting here looking for a reason to pick the Vikings. But yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I think that, the Jets have a good defense, but the Vikings have a good offense. I mean, goodness, you've got Aaron Jones, you've got Justin Jefferson, you've got like some of the best weapons in the league and a quarterback that's proven he can get it to him. So until you show that you can stop that, like you don't have to go out and put 30 plus on them, but I just don't see the Jets scoring more than 10. Maybe 14 against that Vikings defense.
Well, don't forget, he still throws a pretty ball, and he is a gamer, and he might have a flashback. That's his old division. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. You got to get out of your own way to do that.
Am I the only one picking the Jets to win here? Shelby, you're obviously picking your Vikings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After what I saw last week, I can't in good faith pick the Jets. I just can't.
Exactly. It's like they just lost to Denver. The only way they win this is they get super pissed and they catch the Vikings not taking them as seriously as they should.
Right.
Because they do have a good D, but the Jets can't. The scary thing is somehow with Breece Hall, they can't run the ball. What the hell? What is that? How do Braylon Allen actually has been killing it for him.
Yeah, they should have gave him the ball more. Thank you. I was saying it.
Suddenly not able to run with Aaron Rodgers. He was able to run when he had Zach Wilson at quarterback. Why can't he run now?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Total dysfunction. That's why it's like
I just don't trust the Packers. Coach, man, it's not Peterson level time to go, but it's time to go. It's time to go.
The Jets coach? Get him the fuck out of here.
He's got to go.
I don't know.
Peterson needs to go. 10 losses in a row. It's time. I don't care if you want a Super Bowl, Philly. Time to go.
Yeah. Well, obviously the Lions can't win or lose this week. When you look at the Lions, what are your keys in the bye week? Make sure no one eats any turkey legs or trips over anything in the bye week, 7th letter. What are your keys this week for the bye week for your Lions?
Shoot, just heal up, man. Let's get healthy, man, because we ain't got no more days off after this.
It's so weird to have a bye week this early. It just really is weird.
So early.
I wouldn't like it.
I prefer it in the middle of the year. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I mean we're pretty banged up at some branches hurt, Ragnar's hurt, so they got to heal up, and we can go back and beat the brakes off them Cowboys when we come back. That's all I'm really worried about. Just enjoy the time off and just heal up. That's all I need. That's all I need.
What are you going to be watching on Sunday? You going to be watching my Bears?
Watch
both games.
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch whatever comes on Red Zone. I look at all the games. You know what I'm saying? I was watching the games on Sunday from my phone because the Jets game was so bad.
Yeah.
So
I got to be up at 6:30 to watch our game.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm going to sleep though, because
like once a year, I kind of like that. That's kind of cool.
Well, I get off work at like 3 a.m., so it's like not even.
Oh yeah,
I'm not going to be going to sleep.
Ouch.
Start pre-gaming, tailgate, do it.
I know,
Thank you, Joel.
I'm gonna be in my bed.
Yes, Joel. Chicago is dangerous. Thank you, sir. I will send you some money later here, but hey, we are the best division. I think when you look at all the teams are constructed. The Bears aren't quite ready yet. I mean, we're still probably knocking on the door of the playoffs. But when you look at all four of these teams, obviously, I didn't think the Vikings were for real. They are proven they are that they're up there. It's a long
even
season.
the fact that Vikings are number 1 in the league, but the Lions are number 3. So it's like we have 2 out of the 4 in the top 3 is crazy.
Yeah.
And then the Packers are only like, aren't they like 10th or something?
A lot of people are having them ranked like 9 on the ringer. I'm looking
That's
at it right
what I'm
now.
saying. So the
right
fact
there.
that it's like 3, well, Bears, unfortunately, but the fact that 3 of us are in the top 10 is crazy. Like you look at everyone talking about, and it's like Lions and Vikings Super Bowl contenders. I do see it as an NFC championship. I don't even like talking about the Super Bowl because I'm a Vikings fan and I'm going to be as realistic as possible.
Man, both of y'all.
Because I'm not going to be crying again at the NFC championship. I can't do it again.
Sad, that shit hurts like a gunshot.
Oh my gosh, bro. Like
I just felt it.
I've had
Y'all should
multiple
have had that
people.
one, man. You all should have had that one. I won't
Yeah,
even
you
clown
got
for
in your.
that.
That was another
You guys
example
should've
of
won
you
that
got in
thing.
your own way. You got in your own way on that
You
game.
can kind of see this as the Super Bowl logo right there. Yeah.
No one can see that.
Right there.
That must be a long time ago. It ain't
Wait, what's
Hey,
that? Let me see. Let me see. What is that?
There you go, right there.
Design.
What
It's so
decade
old.
is that from? The 80s?
85.
That even a
It's
Super
on there.
Bowl logo?
Etched
Are we
on there. You
talking 40
can't
years
take
now?
that away. You can't
Is that
Do
what
take
you
they
it
were
remember
away.
doing?
that game,
Pre-Super
Andy?
Bowl?
Were you live even?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can't take it
oh.
away. I
Yeah, I
was.
was
I still
6.
have the VHS tape of the Super Bowl Shuffle. I have that. I have it.
Yeah, I remember 2 Super Bowl wins. That feels good.
Yeah.
Nobody
it's
else in the
been a
division
while,
can
too,
say that,
so.
unfortunately.
I've had multiple people be like, if I get tickets to the Super Bowl, will you come? And my thing is like, I don't know. If I go, I have to wear a diaper and take Xanax because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be.
I'll be strict,
I'm not gonna be in a good place. Like
New Orleans, too.
that shit too
Oh,
emotional.
it is New Orleans. Oh,
it's
wow.
too emotional.
That's
Like I
right.
would rather
Yeah.
be with my people in the comfort of my home.
Yeah, so
There
I
you
can break. I got a break. I'll be
I already
back.
went to
I've
a
been with
Super
a
Bowl. It
Bowl.
was cool. It was fun. I got to experience it.
Well, the Packers will have a Super Bowl in 2025. We'll say that. And their Super Bowl will be the NFL draft. That's gonna
Hey,
be
I
closest
might
thing
be
I'm gonna
going
get to
there.
that.
Wait. Yeah, you're funny. But I might actually go to that draft. I'm thinking about it, dude. For real.
Well, I was gonna go. I may not go now, but if you're gonna go, maybe I will have to go. We'll do
That
it
would
with
be
a live
really cool to meet
podcast.
you in person, dude. That would actually be
let's do
really
that.
You
cool.
had
Good.
fun this year at the draft.
Oh, it was fantastic.
All your
Detroit did-
videos, you were wait. Who
Detroit did
really
well.
quick? Who did you meet? You met. There's a bunch of people. I
It
saw
was
the
that
pictures.
guy on, wasn't it the guy on ESPN?
Oh
Who
yeah,
was it?
Dan
Oh,
Orlovsky.
Orlovsky?
Yep.
Yeah,
Met
that's
him
right.
at, yeah, it's it'll be interesting to see how Green Bay does it. It just logistically, but it's definitely a good time if you ever get a chance to go to the draft. I mean, I would say Shelby, like even if my team was in the Super Bowl, like it would be hard. Yeah, I mean I don't know if you would get the full effect of just the whole game. You don't really get to see the
Yeah.
whole game.
No,
And,
exactly.
being there with fans, I think that's one thing. But when you talk about going to just an event,
But even the fans aren't even good. Like the Super Bowl I went to, it's not because
It's not
real
real
fans
fans.
can't
Can't
afford it. They
Yeah.
can't afford
No.
it.
What are they
If
now?
anything,
$10,000.
I would want to get tickets to the experiences that go with the Super Bowl because
Yes.
that's really fun. Like all of the things for the whole week is really amazing. But even
Have you
like
gotten
what
to
we
do
were
that?
saying,
I did it in
Huh?
Arizona, and that was super fun. The whole
fun.
Super Bowl experience thing.
Yeah.
When I lived in Arizona, I can't remember
But-
which Super Bowl it was, but yeah, it was awesome.
Even when I was saying the 97-yard touchdown and I was at that game, it's like I blacked out. It's so much more fun seeing it on TV, watching the replays, like everything, than being able to like really be there and experience it. I feel like it's more just the experience rather than getting to like actually watch the game. And I think
That's
that's
a
why
cool-
there's less fans.
Yeah, I would say that's a cool thing about the draft because like everybody it's the optimism for every fan base. It's just kind of a cool thing, just to kind of be there and celebrating. You're seeing highlights. You just there's just a lot of optimism to be there at the start of anything. So
The Cowboys fans think they're going to be good again, even though they just got destroyed by us. Like everybody's feeling good.
They are. Hey, I'm feeling good after this week, and going to continue to feel good. You know me, I'm positive,
Optimistic.
and
I love it, man.
optimistic. We are. The
In a-
trajectory is
in a crackish
nothing.
way.
Thank you, dude, for the invite. I appreciate it.
My focus is
Heavily
going
meditated way.
5-0 into the
Actually.
bye and coming back strong
Who
against the
do y'all play?
Lions.
Who do y'all play? Wait,
Lions.
is it in Minnesota or in Detroit?
In Minnesota, I think. It's in Minnesota.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
I'm
Let's take a look.
nervous. That's probably the first game that I'm like,
Okay,
ooh.
okay. I'm used to that. So
Week
do you guys
7.
play
It's gonna be home versus
Detroit,
Detroit.
and then you
Yep.
get the Rams. Wow, what a cupcake! We just talked about this on the other
Don't
show.
sleep on these Rams. Don't
You
sleep
get the
on these
Rams, Colts, Jags, Titans.
Mm.
I
Chicago.
might be wrong, you guys. If you
in
guys get
Soldier
through,
Field. Week
dude,
12.
if you get through, oh man, if you get through the Jets and Lions, that's a really.
I
easy
have
right
the
there.
clip of Trev saying we were going 0-6, and I can't
I
fucking
was right
wait
there,
till I
too.
can post that
Yeah,
shit.
I let them bully me into making
I
your
wanna
own.
see
I
that.
can't wait till I post that shit.
I gotta see that.
Bully did it that because I said y'all be okay. I figured that.
You did. And
Andy,
Trev was like,
you-
"Oh, I must have skipped over that 30-second
Yeah.
comment."
it's funny because I'm delaying myself going to bed, and I get up at. I'm a teacher. I start work at 7:30 in the morning. But really quick, who do the Bears have after this? Do you have it or not?
There we go.
Sweet, you do. Okay, let's look.
Easy ass schedule.
You got the Jags. What?
At
Okay,
Jags.
Washington could be top in
But the
Arizona, but
Jaguars, I believe that's in London, so that's going to be a little bit.
you guys might be 4-2 if. But the Jags are a weird team overseas. They have 2 games in a row. It's like
They
2 home games.
It's ready.
You're not
It's
beating Washington.
Washington's going to be
Yeah.
interesting. Washington's my sleeper for the NFC is because I don't believe in Dallas. If you look at Dallas's slate, which I bet you don't, they have they might lose their next 7 games. They could potentially lose all of them.
Dallas is
Not
a dumpster fire.
Dallas is
I
really
live here. I
tough.
live in
Their
the
schedule.
DFW area. It is a dumpster fire, and the fans are not even delusional
And
anymore.
Philly,
They
No,
are
they're
really
not.
jumped
They're
to.
not.
Jalen
Sad.
Hurts has been terrible, and Nick Sirianni, like, there's something obviously off there. Washington, like, their defense scares me because it's not that good, but Gene Daniels keeps playing like this. They might be able to win the division with 9-10 games.
Can we go back to the Jaguars? Everyone said that Trevor Lawrence was the only good quarterback in the division. They were ready to say maybe
he's a fucking bum. I've been saying.
Well, that's the thing. I think he may be benched. And look at this, my guy Justin Fields coming back. Everybody's coming back to my guy Justin Fields. Like I said, he was a good quarterback. Did I not say he was a good quarterback? He's a good quarterback. Caleb Williams is better.
I also said you didn't deserve him. You did not deserve him.
You guys did him a disservice. You never protected him, and he didn't have the weapons that Caleb has now. He did not have a Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and I know Swift is up and down, but he didn't even have a semblance of a running back.
I just think if you kept Fields and you put those assets around him and you actually invested in protection for him, you would be a lot further forward than you are now.
Agree.
Ben, all that cap space to do nothing.
I know you're not saying
Justin Fields, Justin Fields is this team.
No. I do love me some Justin Fields, but he still holds on to the ball. He still runs. Caleb looks to throw, and he just processes so much faster than Justin Fields. I love Justin Fields, but there's a little bit more of a cap as far as how far Justin Fields can go. Caleb Williams, hey, sky's the limit. Bears do have a cakewalk here.
Andy, I got one more for you really quick.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
Do you wish that the Bears would have gotten a vet, not to necessarily start or be a bridge, but do you wish they would have gotten some vet that Caleb could have learned with? Because I feel like that's outside the offensive line. That's the other mistake that the Bears should have done.
No.
I feel like having someone who's played in the NFL for multiple seasons just to get knowledge from can help. You really don't think so, huh?
Nope.
That was just throwing a guy out there and getting wrecked week after week is the best recipe, man.
That's the only way you learn.
But that's how the Bears
do it. The Packers have done this,
and
it freaking works. Look at Malik Willis, just looked good. You get the quarterback in the right system, and it works. Let him sit and learn.
This thing right here, we were 5-0 and wound up 8-0.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
and we went 5-5.
That is a great point, but that's what happened with Andy Dalton. That was the mistake that they made, that Nagy made, trying to, say that, Justin wasn't going to get any, reps during the preseason, and they screwed him over, right? And so you only learn by throwing him in. Even Packer fans last year was talking about Jordan Love. Oh, he's a rookie. Really, he's a rookie because this is his first year starting. He has to be a rookie.
I didn't say that.
A lot of people.
But look what happens when he sits, and then he gets time to actually work through his issues and perform after having time sitting behind a Hall of Famer. And then he had a better season than any Bears quarterback ever has.
He only had half a good season.
Wait. And he won a playoff game.
Half a good season is better than any season
and he won a playoff game. And we almost won it.
Because he had good coaching. I mean,
good coaching. The coach isn't out there throwing passes. He had
I thought we were talking about the coaches mean something. I thought we said that.
Yes,
but he played football for over 100 years, and he played better last season than any quarterback in over 100 years.
That's a lot of season.
That's a big data set,
I only had half a good season, and you had to decide whether to give him the bag. And he threw 3 interceptions last week, and
4 TDs.
Yeah, 3 interceptions. So I don't know. I mean,
wait, hold on a second. It's 4 touchdowns more than Caleb's had in 4 games.
Hey, Caleb's a rookie, so he's not a 5th-year quarterback. So I'll take that. You know me, I am never going to give in. But I definitely appreciate everyone.
Who could win the Super Bowl and you still would let me know?
You gotta hear the shit that this man has put on tape, yo.
Dude, seriously, every week.
Hey, I'm consistent.
He comes every once in a while, bro. And he just he pops out with a tweet, and I'm like, come on, man.
No, he's the best.
Hey, at least I'm consistent, right?
Yeah, you
are. Very optimistic.
So the goalpost has mud tires, man. That thing is moving wherever it needs to without hesitation.
Yo, we all were here last year, bro. Everybody's heard you.
I'm gonna follow everybody. Thank you guys. Seriously, I don't have to dip for anything, but you guys rock.
Where can everyone find you, Isaac, as we close out here?
I'll be on Fun Football on Friday night doing pick'ems. On Blitz with another Bears fan who I know you like, Shots, on Tuesday nights. And you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram.
Great stuff. Thanks for joining us. Like and subscribe there. Miles, where can everyone find you?
Absolutely. Packers Talk YouTube. Go subscribe. We're Pack Weekly Podcast every Monday night, 9:30, live streaming. Come hang out and let's talk Pack.
We got to get you a sunglasses, sponsorship here too, huh?
I have a pair of Packers sunglasses that I got at the Vikings Packers game last year.
Ooh,
that's where these came from. Not that game. These are like 10 or 12 years old.
Oh, okay, but they're Packers sunglasses.
Yeah, I got them from a game, so that's why I keep wearing them.
Those are Jordan Love sunglasses, right? You can only see rose-colored lenses.
The future is bright, sir. So bright. I can't take the sunglasses off. I'll get blinded.
Shelby, where can everyone find you?
Shelby Tweten, Twitter, Instagram, the Skull Queen on TikTok.
Lots of great stuff on TikTok. Yes, definitely follow, like, subscribe, all that. You can find me on YouTube on NFLOutdated. You can find me on the Twitter. Definitely going to be stirring some more stuff up this year as well, especially as the season progresses. And find us on Freezin, the number 4 pod on TikTok. And 7th letter, you are still the reigning champ. So where can we find you?
Right. You can find me 7th letter floor
you said right.
For the X, and same OG on Instagram and Facebook. And although you are 4-0 and on top of the North now, I am still
on top of the league. But yeah,
whatever.
Got it.
Okay. I'm still king of the North. We got a long way to go.
I'll see you in 3 weeks.
Long way to go. All right, everyone. Once again, it's been the Freezin NFC North Podcast, episode 105. Let's go. Heading into week 5. Thanks again for joining us, everyone. We will see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Go, Pack, go.